them not there. We all know it in they happen at Salone, and we all know it in they happen now the world at large, but specifically in the continent of Africa. Nigeria, second-year-old student, 21 years old, went to the Redeemed Church for go study because the noise na in house too much. The result of that was a gang rape, will lead to in death. South Africa, woman, they rape him, not only gang rape him, then they hang him. Ghana, same thing. And then make we come closer to home. Sierra Leone. Last Saturday, we all been there in rage about, the alleged rape of a little girl, a 5-year-old little girl, Khadija. But in Sierra Leone, this is not only the case about Khadija, it is the case about a lot of other Khadijas. Because even as I talk to her right now, so many other incidences, so many other similar things them don't take place in our country. I woke up yesterday, Thursday, and waiting me I see, I know able beer. I just pray and ask Papa God, make Papa God heal will land. Before I go further, I get Madam Matasali with me, where na a social worker inside Canada, and also you get a clinical psychology experience as well, background. Madam Mata, tell Fambule Adu.
Fambule Unadu. Mina Mataselu, just like my sister don't say. Ade Canada and Mina social worker.
Okay. Before I go further, I want to ask with technical team, make it put for me the tweet where the head of the Rainbow Center, where he put Nado yesterday. So yesterday morning, where I wake up, just imagine you sleep, you wake, and then the first thing where you see on your phone, it reads as follows. It say, we are currently overwhelmed with calls and the surge of rape, sexual penetration cases at our 5 rainbow centers. From yesterday to today, which means from Wednesday to Thursday this week, we have treated over 53 survivors, including 2 boys, 8 and 7 years old. We must join the fight to stop rape culture in Sierra Leone. Daniel Keto, Executive Director, Rainbow Center. Now, me fumble them. In 2018, a little girl was raped by a relative who happened to be his uncle. That man was 28 years of age. That little girl was 5 years. After a done day, na the Aberdeen Center, Women's Center for a whole year. The nation caught wind of waiting don't happen to them. That little girl was subsequently, because of that rape, she was paralyzed. Right now, as I talk, in India, Usai, they take treatment. Paralyzed, 5 years, raped by a 28-year-old man. Paralyzed. Imagine that for a second. That led to an outcry. That led to an outburst. The nation was enraged. The nation couldn't take it anymore. People started talking. People started speaking. And then later on, we get for Yerise with First Lady, come up with a campaign where he called Hands Off Our Girls. Hands Off Our Girls because, The hand them na the girl picking them don't become too much. The hand them pantap the girl picking them done too much. So he launched that campaign day. In 2019 of February, the president, where he don't look, he don't know again waiting for do, he declare an emergency. I declare rape as an emergency inside we country. Rape as an emergency inside we country. The entire world, Yeri Botdande, the entire world, became concerned. But did that rape as an emergency really translate into tentative actions then? Really translate into something where, we as a country right now, we can look back and say a year on, because it's been a year after. A year on, can we look back and say a year on, what have we achieved as a country that has declared rape as emergency? Yes, not true say, the Sexual Offense Act was amended in 2019. And the amendment of the act, make sure say people them where they do bad thing then to picking them, people them where they do bad thing then to woman them, that the minimum sentence where they go get now 15 years, and the maximum sentence where they go get now a lifetime in prison. But did we go so far to look at the pathology, to look at what's actually at the root cause of this? Did we go far? I don't know. Tonight, Madam Salu, they join me, and maybe as we they go along, we go get another guest. We've been supposed for don't join we. We also come for kind of mot pandit talk here so. Madam Salu, what you get for say to we people them at this present time with waiting I don't lay at the table?
First of all, I would like to tell you thank you, Madam Matilda, for where you invite me for there this evening. The problem about rape, it don't affect you so much so that we they feel to say this Salone will be sabi, because specifically we concentrate now with country. Now this more one for deal with waiting they happen at Salone, because rape is there all side. But at this time, we need for talk about waiting they happen Salone. Because it's like every day you wake up, just like the way you say, the way you talk and just now, the first thing you go see now rape case. It's like nothing is changing. It just the amount, the numbers they increase every day. But we for know for say the issue of rape, some people then feel say, oh nah, because I can hear you, some people then can make comments say, if you're in a man business you want to, why you not go for a woman? Woman then they, prostitute then they. But the issue of rape is not only about sex here. It's not only about sex. There are a lot of complications and a lot of other complicated issues that we combine for make somebody think about raping somebody. And I think one of them, one can be like the mental health. We know that Sierra Leone, we don't go through war. We get about 10 years or 11 years of war in Salone. And I can rightly say, an officer who don't deal with any of the social issue them where they go on our Salone. For social issues in Sierra Leone is zero. We don't get nothing for help with for combat. The lots of social issue the way the war we don't bring to Sierra Leoneans. So people in the past we been get a lot of picking their way and join into the rebel war. We had kids that fight as rebels, and we also been get the Kamajos. We get different partitions of them people they are so. Many of them, all they did was to drop down their arms and come back into the society, and they were integrated into the society. So when they come back, what did they do? What did the government do for tap into the brains of them picking their ass? Or even some of them are don't grow, they don't some big man there now. Majority of them are in the society. The country day today, job not there, nothing. The kids are restless. The kids are anxious. There's a lot of drug and addiction popular in Sierra Leone. We all don't hear that. We all don't see. We all know what they go on. But there's nothing, no activities that are not there way for stop this or for even work on the issue. And the issue of rape will not get for deal with it. This not just the surface. I believe so we get for start from the bottom and go to the top. And I believe say as we go on, we go work more on the issue than they as we continue for talk for tonight. But I think we don't really count to we notice we are glady with the brain candidate to the floor for no talk water.
Okay. So I want to go to a technical team. I want to make a remind we waiting we president say waiting lead we for make it declare a state of emergency in a Salone. I want to make we listen to waiting we president say, and then we can talk some more.
Today's historic declaration is a landmark in tackling sexual gender-based violence in Sierra Leone. And this was made possible by the tireless voices of survivors, women and girls. And please, let us not forget the men and the little boys who are also involved.
Now the IGP has deemed it fit to set up a task force by creating another syndicate we refer to as sexual assault syndicates.
The President has said, under the rights and mandates of the Section 19 of the 1991 Constitution, that the penalty for rape and sexual penetration is life imprisonment.
This thing about negotiating compromise, I think there should be a law with reference to that. A law that will punish persons that are involved in that, because that is what will delay the process. What I want to assure you is that in terms of speed, as a result of the training that judges and magistrates have had, they are going to be very effective now.
The person will do this to me in the Panwakana street, me a day, I know you work with my foot. That is what rapists do to our society. In Africa, people would prefer to go to jail than to be exposed for their neighbors to know who they are. I think we should also have that in one of our agendas as women. This is our own mob justice.
As a government, we will invest in training specialized police personnel, provide adequate forensic facilities, collate and collect comprehensive sexual violence data, deliver free medical services to survivors, and cater for safe homes and psychosocial care for survivors. As a nation, we must address this scourge with immediate effect. Sexual penetration of minors is punishable by life imprisonment.
Sierra Leone's president and first lady are working together to elevate the plight of women and girls in the West African nation. VOA's Peter Claudy sat down with both the president and first lady for an interview in New York recently. Salone has their story.
Sierra Leone's President Julius Maada Bio made international headlines when he declared rape and sexual violence a national emergency earlier this year.
On this note, ladies and gentlemen, I therefore declare rape and sexual violence as national emergency.
Bio said he sees improving the lives of women as a key way for the country to develop economically and in terms of health indicators.
I believe that if we have to develop as a nation, Sierra Leone, and the world at large, where women are in the majority, we must treat them fairly, we must take them seriously, and we must make them a part and parcel of the Sustainable Development Goals, making sure that they are made to be productive and be part of the march towards Sustainable Development Goals.
In 2018, the rape of a 5-year-old girl in Sierra Leone by her uncle that left her paralyzed generated outrage and calls for stricter laws. The same year, instances of reported sexual violence rose to 8,505, an all-time high. According to the Rainbow Initiative, a Sierra Leonean organization that helps survivors of gender-based violence, 93% of victims treated are younger than 17 years of age, and 24% are younger than 11. Historically, most attackers go unpunished. Bio said he's determined to change that.
We are going to make sure that this fight is taken very seriously. I must say that I was appalled by the nature of what I met. Women were not taken seriously. Girls and little babies were being raped with impunity.
Bio said his administration is now taking drastic action against those who commit rape. In September, the country's legislature amended its Sexual Offences Act to allow a maximum punishment of life in prison for someone who rapes a child. The country has also created a Sexual Offences Division of the High Court in order to hear sexual assault cases and increase rates of prosecution. First Lady Fatma Bio has spearheaded the Hands of Our Girls campaign, which seeks to not only end gender-based violence, but address issues including teen pregnancy, child trafficking, child marriage, and prostitution. At an event during the UN General Assembly, she was joined by other First Ladies from across the continent, as well as African Development Bank, including President Akinwumi Adesina.
The Hands of Our Girl campaign is a campaign that I believe should be a global campaign, should not be limited just within Sierra Leone. And we have worked very hard to a point where the title itself has a life of its own, and it's basically traveling like wildfire around the world.
During the UN event, Fatma Bio shared personal details about her life, including the fact that she was forced to flee an arranged marriage with a much older man in her early teens. From that moment, I vowed that I would not see a child being abused, she said. The First Lady sees the movement spreading. In neighboring Liberia, First Lady Claire Weah has launched the She Is You campaign to elevate women's rights and fight against gender-based violence. Now, the conversation about rape has begun in West Africa. Fatma Bio believes it will only continue.
What we have done as a country is actually introduce the subject. Early marriage rape is a subject that people don't like to talk about in Africa. People like to cover, they use a lid to cover it. And we have actually lifted that lid on it.
With Peter Claudy, I'm Salim Solomon, VOA News, Washington.
So, mi fambul dem onadonyeri. The president in remarks where he launched the emergency on rape, and rape being punishable by life imprisonment, he say that the development of our economy rests in the hands of women. He say we in take over power, the numbers them we in meet were abysmal, they were shameful, they were disgraceful. That women were not taken seriously. And women were being taken advantage of. And women were being raped and being molested. And little girls were being molested and being raped. Madam Saliu, has anything changed?
Of course, we know say nothing or really change it. And I'm glad the way the president himself say we must invest in women. But the one thing I want for just make quick clarification here for say rape is not only about women, because men themselves they rape them. Men as well as women. But mostly women then are the more they feel the pinch of rape. So I'm glad where also the First Lady himself talks say it will make rape and particularly the issue of violence against women for stop. Then they go be one of in mandatory or one of in program the way it don't include in the Hands of My Girls project. I think I also glad about that. But the thing we will for try also for do for as a way of encouraging or educating our young girls, because specifically rape, when person want rape, they always look for somebody where it big pass, somebody where get power because are out of power. They do it because of you want forget. Sometimes, although they're not getting, they are not mentally stable, but some of them to look for power. They want for show, for say they get this power over this person. So they will always look for the lesser person in their life. Now make with the for say and say this person at 40 years, it don't go rape 5-year-old picking. This person at 50 years, it don't rape 3-year-old picking because they are powerless. They want to look for somebody who then go overpower for let them get whatever satisfaction they look for. And most of the times when they do this, it's not like then they go for even sexual. Because they want to get sex. As I said earlier on, sex, if you're not done at the reason, many of them they get them partners already. But they go look for somebody where they know say they get a power over for go get involved with them. And another thing can be when they decide for do that, then they always try because there's a lot of anger in some of these people. They want some revenge. They are looking for ways. Most boys have been abused when they were young. So many of them, what they want to do is to revenge and bring that woman where we don't oppress them. Then they look for that person there for bring them back down on their knees to say, look, I have power over you and I can do what I want with the body. So what things we for really try for do for encourage we young girls and for do is let them understand say their body, nobody not get right for touch their body any way or form. Girls forget the right for feel say any way you touch my body, you not get right until I give you the consent to do that. So as little as how they are, we can start for teach them, for encourage them, for understand say their body not in get them. If I allow the beginner for able for speak up for a person talk because I want in and they way sometimes I remember they grow up with people that way you talk about sex. You know, for even talk about sex, we don't know how to talk about sex. Sierra Leoneans have to be open. We get for be open for talk about sex to girl picking them. And no filter ever get the chance for learn from the mama waiting our sex until I get your knowledge from myself. Most times they try for cover up. I remember why they grew up. My granny tell me say they put bead in your waist. If a man touch you, your belly go big. Now later now I able for translate that. Okay, if I get up unprotected sex, what will happen? I'll become pregnant. So I can't learn that. We the adults in the kids' life should be able to help them to understand them part of the body for understand say you nobody not for touch your body way you not get the permission to do that until you are ready for that. So those are some of the things. Let the picking them know the importance. Let the girl picking them know so they say the importance as boys as well. You know, train them, let them get an understanding. Now we try back with boy picking them, let them know for say not to forgo rape a woman will make you this masculine big person. Raping a woman, anybody who rape a woman means say you're not a man enough. As a man enough, you should be able to stand in front of a woman and ask the woman for a consent for say, now we get sex. If you're not that, then you mission. But you're not going to rape a woman for sure, say you big. And another thing, one important thing, now we stop for blame victims. And not say, oh, mama, the way they go rape them, go say, why make you wear that short clothes? Why make you not sit down fine? Why make you go up your leg to the man? Why make you go to the boy picking room where he call you? Sometimes the picking will they sleep. Then this could happen. But as I said, I get more for come on. For now, we continue with the discussion as time goes on.
Right. In 2019, according to the UN, the United Nations database, violence against women in Sierra Leone recorded, and the database was 3,257. And these are conservative numbers because the numbers go higher than this. And these are the numbers that were recorded in the database. And as we know, their number then they now a rough estimate. The real numbers then are not even there because sometimes half of these things are not recorded. Half of these stories are not told. We don't see Usaina Salone, the rape don't start as early as 7 months to as old as 70-year-old. They don't rape people in a Salone way. The baby na 7-month-old baby. So a granny when a 70-year-old woman. So where are we going with this as a nation? What are we doing as a nation? And this rape business here, so not to only woman they no more than the rape, not to only girl picking they no more than the rape, boy picking and self they go through rape, boy picking and self they suffer through rape. Most of the time, the boy picking the knocking get the mind for Canada and talk say yes, so and so person rape me, so and so person touch me, so and so person do me this. So they don't sit down and that trauma they then don't be traumatized and they grow up as traumatized men. So listen, another thing where they can ask for make you rub Motspan right now. Since January of this year to May of this year, the Rainbow Center already done record 1,272 penetration cases. I know they talk about the other type of sexual assaults. I know they talk about the other type of aggression on women. Them. And they talk about sexual penetration. And they talk about rape case leading where involves sexual penetration. Already the Rainbow Center don't record 1,272. And then statistics then are just from the Rainbow Center. I not count the FSU, then you number it. I not count the police, then you number it. And then I not take into account the undocumented numbers, them, the undocumented cases, them, where we don't know but yet. So waiting exactly they go on a Salone. Waiting exactly where did we go wrong as a nation? Because the aggression in people them so much these days, the vexation, the anger in people them so much these days that they know they see girl picking them as girl picking them anymore. Then they see girl picking them as machistic them. Then they see girl picking them as the cigarette bottom. Where you don't smoke the cigarette down that bottom where they left, where they mass and you put out your mass and sometimes the mass and self you they work they go. What is going on in our nation? I not care waiting they go on in other country. Yes, we can talk about that. But like I say, I am a Sierra Leonean. That is the country I was born. So therefore, me first and utmost responsibility, me first and utmost priority, me first and utmost concern. Now for no waiting they go on in Sierra Leone. Please, to some extent, can you take some time? Can you take a minute and tell me about the pathology? Now, I want to go into a little bit of history. If you can tell me about the pathology of rape culture in Sierra Leone, because let me tell you something. According to the UN estimates, during the civil war, the 1991 to 2000 civil war, rough estimate is that 200,000 women and girls were sexually molested, sexually raped in that country. 200,000. These are conservative estimates because remember we were in a situation of civil strife. So therefore, all of these numbers are not documented. But I want to make you tell me what you understand about the pathology of rape culture in Sierra Leone, and then myself will come and can rub much, but waiting na me understanding about this pathology. Like, listen, I am not here to blame a president today. I am not here to blame a first lady today because they themselves don't know any better. They themselves are a victim of this very situation. They themselves have been trapped in this very situation. But when you're in position of power and when you're in position of leadership, and when you said something, I will hold you to that. But before we go to that, I want to understand the pathology of rape culture in our nation.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Sister. We bring that question up. I think one main thing we can see also, now we know for certain the history of rape. The history of rape started from the time of war. Now, the way that when the soldiers, they will be they go on a war front, they want for sure say they don't conquer this place. They don't conquer whatever they run after, whatever they go for. And by doing that, then therefore try for get them, then captures, and try for oppress them, rape them how they want, use them how they want. And as we all know, Sierra Leone don't go through war. About 11 years or so, or maybe more than that, of war will be really serious now, Salone. And from when the war don't end, what thing happen? All we president they do, or we politicians they do was to drop down your arms. Then everybody was integrated into the society again. We be ever deal about the psychosocial? Will we ever deal about their own self-esteem? Will we ever did about what they don't go through, the PTSD what they don't go through, the trauma what they go through during the war? We don't deal about all these issues. And as I always say, everybody gets some kind of mental health. If some of you based away they are so now, we thank God some of you don't come out of the country, we don't come here. Some of us not able for work we issue them. Some people then still not able for work on that issue them day from when they born them and from when they don't go through the water, they don't come outside in day. What about the one they were the Salone? There's nothing really to help our brothers and sisters out in the country for help them for think about the behavior when they go through for say this behavior, the way what they feel, it's not normal. Because there is no way we go talk say this is a normal thing that's happening in Sierra Leone. 1,272 from January to now, which is only 6 months. 1,272 rape cases.
5 months, because it's just from January to May, the data.
5
and that's
months.
from the Rainbow Center.
Exactly. Can you imagine that? There is something is wrong. Something is not right. I think we president need to think about this. Our politicians need to think about how they will able to combat this situation. Because the numbers and they go every day. And the unfortunate thing, like you said, we don't even know about the others that they not report to. This is just from the Rainbow Center. This is just from those people who have been brave enough to come and say, this happened to me. And now, why next up would they talk about this now? Because we have a death. Somebody don't die out of this. Who is poor Khadija? Which is, of course, we know Gladibo and die one. But maybe she is like the saint that died for somebody to talk about this and to bring a stop to this situation. So we talking about it not go help. We need a lot of practicality for this situation, for let them begin for address them. And one of them therefore be dealing about people's mental health. There's a lot of mental health people we know. We country where they go, they see. Some people now they talk about it. Some people they own the inside. Some people is internalized. And some people then will come out and be aggressive in the community. Some of them they are not aggressive. And some of them people then they were not able to express their aggression other places. Then they use the rape or for look for them victims who are lesser than them or very younger than them for let them express their aggression on that person. Then they go, then they look for possible big past them all. Why make them not go fetch them, complement them? Or possibly at the age group like 20-year-old man, go rape 20-year-old man. What you go do? You go box you back, you go fair way for fetch you. So then they look for picking them where not get no ability for even know, say what thing they happen to them, when they even understand. Because what can a 5-year-old tell you about rape? They don't have any knowledge, they don't understand. All she knows, who say this person touched me, they hurt, mama. Or the white people will say, this person touched me tutu, it hurts. They don't know what they even happen, which of course is aggression. This person, they try to express that aggression to this little child because the victim where they do and so, say she's very, very, very helpless. It just get for open himself up and take whatever they come in with. So the issue about rape, we don't have to deal with the top. We get for start from who side this start. And majority of it was from the war. Up till now, we have not dealt about the post-trauma that people have. People are still carrying their baggages around. People are still dealing with their issues like drugs during the war. Lot of picking them with them join war. We have 5 years old being murderers, 10 years old taking guns, shooting people just like that because they are being asked to do it. And many of them picking their house and take drugs. All of that. Drugs in Sierra Leone is just a popular, it's everywhere. Everywhere you go right now today, you want cocaine at the streets of Britain, you go get and they. As for Jamba, it's like nothing. Drugs, they're everywhere. So we get for deal about the drug. We get for deal also about the mental health issues and where they go on, where they are the main issues, because this is not normal. There is no society that is stable will be able to record 1,272 rape just within 5 months. Something is not right here. And this is what we should be thinking about.
Here is my take on this. I strongly believe, say yes. In the days of old, yes, man them they go war, and then then captures them, for sure, then strengthen the might, then they capture the woman them and whatnot. But when I look about specifically into the land of Sierra Leone, I not recall at any time where tribes them don't go. We don't get tribal wars them so deep to the fact that a man them go into battle and then they try for seize other people their own land and they try for seize other people their own territory and then conquers them, now the wives them or the girls them within that village or within that territory. Here is what I believe. I believe that the rape culture started from our great grandparents. I believe that we come from a society where we come from an incestuous society. Some of the words them why go use this even terms, some of una not go agree with them, some of una go say Matilda you too much. But listen, the sooner we start getting these arguments right, the sooner we start calling them as they are, the better it is for us. We come from an incestuous society. We have tribes and ethnicity within our society in Sierra Leone where they allow, say, yes, cousin for married cousin. And a far distant cousin them. They're not a brother and sister them. So therefore, it is okay for them to marry each other. Guess what? That is incest. Because guess what? Now inside the bloodline on all two they married. So yes, we get a system where, from the day Pekin born, then don't assign unto a man. We get a system, we come up from a pathology where from the day a girl became born in certain settings, in certain, ethnicity, then don't assign unto man. Na that chief in Pekin, na this head man in Pekin, na that crew and they in Pekin. So why would we not find ourselves in this place at this junction? Where from the day the Pekin born, all you the condition into na you man dande o your uncle is no longer your uncle, your nephew, your cousin no longer your cousin, your grandpa no longer your grandpa, even though the man now your grandpa in age, now your papa in age, you they encourage the Pekin, you they tell and say na iman. That is what girls have been conditioned to in Sierra Leone. That is the culture in which they born into. We get a system where some of we grandpa them and get 2, 3, 4 wife. And when you look the wife, they age them. When you look the Pekin, they age them. When you look the wife, they age them. The time where them begin born them Pekin, then they. There are families right now, when you look at the mama, you look at the first boy Pekin, take to the last Pekin, you can only imagine at what age she was when she had her first child. So let us not be hypocritical to sit here to say that, listen, all is well and dandy. We come from an incestuous society. We come from a society that pimp their girls from the day they know that they are a girl child. We come from a pimping society. Okay, we pimp our girls to our uncles, to our fathers, to our brothers, to our nephews. That's what we do. And that is what has gotten us to the place where we are today at this very moment. The rape culture in Sierra Leone did not start today. It started from our great-grandparents. Our great-grandparents instilled this pathology in us, instilled this behavior in us, encouraged this behavior in us. And now we're at a junction where we find post-war over 200,000 women raped. So what am I saying? I am saying that at the time of the war, if somebody was born, then the war's been over. It's been 20 years now. It means that Pekin Day, if he been born around the war time and he survived, he done 20-year-old. It means that if you've been 20, where the war begin, you don't over 40. It means that if you've been 40 where the war begin, you don't over 60. It means that if you've been 60 where the war begin, you don't over 70. When you look at the numbers, the age range that are abusing kids at this present time, look at the pathology, people. They come from a traumatic past. They come from a psychological past that has never been addressed. Listen, when the TLC report and the recommendation of the TLC report was made, they were not made in abstention. These are people who are what they assault, who know what they are doing, and who know what they were recommending. That is why they asked for certain things to be done. Let me tell you, if all of these people are surviving and are survivors and are within the age ranges that I have named, guess what? They not get any single point of being. They not get any single point of knowing and living. And that is including you and I sitting here. And that is including every single one watching me right now and watching us right now. If you not take the time for go see a clinical psychologist and deal with some of them traumas, then trust me, none of us know how to raise proper kids in this our society. So long as you have not confronted your past, you cannot move on with the future. Let me tell you, people, Sierra Leone is a country that is a heavily embedded psychotraumatic society. Okay, so you have these young men and these old men going around and raping these kids and doing all sorts of things to these little girls and these little boys because they do not know what they are doing. Because within them, they are also fighting a demon that has never been addressed, a demon of seeing someone killed in front of them, a demon of seeing lots being cast to say, waiting that belly woman they carry. Now, boy picking on a girl picking, make we play him belly, make we see. People, let's start having real conversations. Let's start having real talk. We come from a society where the word pedophilia is avoided. But guess what? We have a whole lot of pedophiles in that country. Men who were never addressed, whose psychological and traumatic experiences were never addressed, and who for some reason have become serial pedophiles. The First Lady launched in Answer of Our Girls campaign 2 years ago. 2 years ago, where has that gotten us? I go ask the technical team, make it play some of waiting we don't see after the Answer of Our Girls campaign launch, some of the story them, where don't they come up? And let us see if the Answer of Our Girls campaign has been effective. And if it hasn't, what are the reasons? Let's talk about it.
Forms of violence against women and girl picking them all over the world. And Salone Self Not Left Behind as the theme for this year, and generation equality stands against rape. Now the studio now want for welcome on small Tiange Stevens when the mama for 1 3-year-old girl picking as it call for justice for him picking, because inside August 23rd this year they alleged say one academic doctor been raped in 3-year-old girl picking. Good morning again, welcome to the program.
Yeah, good morning again, good morning Sierra Leone.
As Salone they join other continent for observe these 16 days of activism, and one thing we stand out now is they get for do with let people and stop for rape girl picking them. And you na mama of 1 3-year-old girl picking, where they call for justice for you picking, where you say one academic doctor been raped inside August this year. Let me start for no first. Waiting be happen.
Good. On August 23rd, on a Friday, me and me picking work up because by then I don't be where I get this low blood pressure will be the morning me. So this morning will come out with the pass me and picking. Then this doctor sit down na veranda to the girlfriend where he go tap there. So now I ask say, hey, mama, you know where he don't understand? I say I go rest. Now I say go lay down. So I go lay down, me and me picking, and me go wash her, I wear trousers, and when I got picking, I can always the girl trousers will sleep. Then the picking can't on the bed, he go. So me lay down now, I don't sleep, say, then somebody wake me for ask me about me head. So I lay down, they play with my phone. Now I hear this me picking, they cry na the back, and they cry. So now I grab her goodie. I meet her, it is strain even for climb up the step. And the way I be dressed, the trousers, not to so now I meet her. So straight off, I ask one titi will be there to me. I ask her, I say, who said this picky be there? Now I say, be there to in paddy mommy awa now okay now take the pikin I go down to the mommy now ask the mommy but where I go the way I meet the all sit down like say na berry happen at the house now ask her I say the mommy I say na you paddy be there now I say no I say for na pass here this morning I say I not see her I say pass we don't carry her I say but me pikin this sit down so I say now this pikin money na in dey for me myself as he talk down the now bring the pikin partner I say well check this pikin aba tell me what's in the money now I say well as sit down I say abi don't send me grand pikin there forgot take pot to Auntie Mary I say where they go they say they meet this pikin are inside the house the mouth all lock the window all lock the pikin they holler I say now the pikin there run they say the mommy cow look you party there inside this house here and they holler the mouth all lock partner. So I say as a grab for good day, they approach the house. Now it say this man, this Dr. Banje Kefala, all this speaking in hand, and they go left hand na the back. So instead he say just link, and they really watch how the man he do. So the man go left the pikin. So then he tell me this. Now I say well you na nurse, you na old nurse. I say well let's watch this pikin here. Now we put the drawers and the pikin the trusses. Inside the pikin all be red. Now the mommy say oh he say this man don't involve in this pikin here. So now in God pikin tell me Martinda I say and she say look the man they go he say let's go grip her. Now I say no I say let's not take the law now we on hand. I say myself I they find out me only to way. I say the experience what I get. Now I take that pikin I go to a bathroom. When I go with this pikin in a bathroom I take water for make her cleaner. Now I crossing leg. Now I say mama the heart pepper. Now ask her because he can talk small. Now ask her I say Christiana I say who that don't church you tutu. Now I say na doctor.
Please for the guide the conversation avoid the pikin name and address and low avoid names please.
Okay. Now ask me pikin now I say na doctor. So now I begin cry. Now take this pikin back now go to the same mommy. I say can you listen something? Can you hear what this pikin they say? Put on a bathroom back I say tinap leg you watch. I take water back for my clean the pikin. I crossing leg by say they ask mama. He say pepper. So now I begin cry. Now I say well this are the cry go na police. So now the mommy say well this na family business and a neighbor business. Now tell her I say no. I say neighbor business no camp and pikin. I say this na me fixture that man want destroy. I say I know they take a light with her. I say wait me no but neighbor whenever a pikin calls you una go talk her. Neighbor pikin thief you una go talk her. I say me this I dey go na police.
So before this incident, this doctor in question, this academic doctor in question, they ever done the go na you or you the men you picking?
Well, it go dey two because when you go tap to this woman, I be sick that thing. This woman na be good person to me. So he go introduce her to me say he don't get somebody. I be they don't abide. Now I tell her say I know where. And I say this woman I know where. Don't say where they don't know. Now low blood pressure the panel. So that's.
Where you gonna police? Waiting happen there.
So before me go na police, we wait for this woman we can camp this man here. He camp because the woman they waiting make accept to the mommy in opinion because now they I get for use now they get for be witness. So myself I dance to into say this man in girlfriend camp. We can we take the pikin and tell her so oh they go no explain anything to that mommy. Lord just go show and the pikin because himself na big woman at the area and that's exactly we do. We go show and the pikin we put dress panel. Now say if what happen me heart cut now say not so anything bad. This pikin na so I see and this even say I not this self watch and ballet is tell me wetin na the thing wey wrong with her. As we put dress pan the pikin so we see the line say subhana la mama do that do lie. He say who that don't do this to this pikin so. He say man they wicked now. Now he say now no more way they don't. You know when he say this pikin you know they agree for her. Now I say well now me and the mommy say the man way can camp na ya. Now I don't do this havoc to this pikin. So myself I don't get all my evidences there. Now I take the pikin. We go na police FSU that night and we'll go that very night we involve journalists there. One journalist Sayonga he go the states as they call her he go there. So the police there now, they said that particular very night now we go arrest the man. Around there, some minutes to 12, we arrest and we go to now FSU.
So as we dey talk now, outside this academic doctor, the way you say rape you pikin.
When Kenema this happen, na Kenema.
Police be don hold am.
When they be arrest and say they charge the case na high magistrate court. We dey magistrate court from August 27, then grant her bail October 10. Where that did not go down well with me. We say today that night they pissed me off with the money me. Why that for happen?
Alright, continue for the with me at the studio. That's Tiange Stevens.
Okay, now don't hear wetin happen na this particular case. You know, as the mama don't explain wetin happen to im pikin, not to dande in fact even Monami pan this whole case. The side way Monami pan this whole case, and I get the video. The reason why I'm not gonna make the technical team play the video is because that the video version where I get a political undertone inside. Because somebody been done scribble political nonsense panam. And therefore, not to politics are they pan today. Are they pan serious stroke. So now the only reason that they make I not go play this particular video. But I go tell you now, waiting follow this particular incident here. So. And this is why I say when you do not understand the pathology of things, when you do not understand the psychology of things, when you do not understand the trauma of things, and you just take yourself, you lump yourself, you put yourself in the middle of something, be careful how you address things. Be careful how you word things. Be careful how you name things. Be careful how you call things. Waiting really make anger me. In this particular case, waiting anger me. Now the fact that when I hear waiting the mommy say, he said, "I can't this thing happen." When the first lady was doing our Answer for Girls campaign tour, when it reached inside Kenema, when it addressed this particular matter, the sentence verbatim of the first lady was, "Now so them can accuse one man say he rape pikin, where I get for find out I do me own investigation, not also it happen, na the mommy pan in man business and in boyfriend, girlfriend fet with and they fet, now he one can use him pikin. Now he one can use him pikin for put inside the man business plaba. Una de woman them, we una get una man business plaba. Una no use una pikin them pa una man business plaba." And to that I say, my dear first lady, were you there? Were you there? After he said that, Nainda Mami they take transport pong from Kenema 98.1, he can't do this interview. That is the desperation of a mother who is seeking justice for her child. That is the desperation of a mother who is looking at a first lady who is saying, "I don't care if you're a first lady. I don't care what power and authority you are. This is my child. My child got raped. My child got molested. I get the right for fetch for me pikin. You know be daddy. You don't know if it happened. You are not a forensic scientist. You are not a midwife. Oh, come on, you are not a pediatrician. Come on, you're not a social psychologist. Come on, you're not a social worker. Who are you to infiltrate your mouth in such a way, in such matters, even to as far as go and insinuate something contrary to what the mommy say? You been see that pikin? Do you have the tools and capacity and expertise for examining that pikin for come to such conclusion? And if that was the case, allow the law to take its course.
I just
What the case? Allow the law to take its course. Your platform is Answer for Our Girls. So therefore, whether it a false accusation or a real or a factual accusation, let the law use your platform. Get to the bottom of it. But it is not up to you to re-victimize. What she did in that instance was re-victimize. I don't know if you understand that. But what happened at that particular instance, at that particular moment there, was a re-victimization of the victim. And you see, the reason why these cases are not going through the way they're supposed to go through, the reason why these cases are being stalled, the reason why make with the research soldier man them and policeman them now part of the one that when they abuse and then they go scotch free is because of such irresponsible statement. It's because of such irresponsible uttering. You as a first lady, where you don't hold something that you and you saying that your flagship project. Hold it as your flagship project. Do not infiltrate yourself into the investigation. Let the investigation be the investigation, but let your words and your actions not truncate the case, not truncate the matter.
Okay, just one jump in a little bit.
Incident after the launch of the First Lady. In Hands of Our Girls, this incident happened. Not only this incident happened, we also hear of the gang raping of a 50-year-old woman in bonds. Gang raping of a 50-year-old woman in bonds. They raped the woman, say, then cut the woman, and I am going to call the word out, then cut the woman in vagina. She had laceral wounds, then cuts in vagina. She had to go under operation. That's how brutal that attack was. And then the attack then becomes so brutal, much more aggressive, almost as if to say, you know, these people are sitting there saying, until you say Hands of Our Girls, make we show you. Make we show you, almost as if it was a deer. Almost as if you awaken the beast out of them. The Hands of Our Girls campaign, Madam Salio.
So
where did it go wrong?
That's exactly what I wanted to bring in. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about here. Thank you very much, my sister, for at least your expression. You know, the Hands of Our Girls, very excellent project that the First Lady for not able for use na Salone for not able for help by today this thing what they talk about. So if I don't do a lot of healing to people, like I said, this issue of the rape, it be done there, but now it's like the numbers don't escalate so much in the last 10, 11 years. I don't understand what is happening. It's like every day after the war, the post-war, like every day, new things and new people, then just they think about what to do to create more situation, for create more headache to people. And one of the issues of how you go able to cure rape, not ever tell the person, say what they say not lie. Like when you don't explain what the First Lady said. Always listen to the survivors. Always. That's for being number one priority. That's why this is becoming a problem. Because the person don't go explain, you not listen to them, now you don't jump into conclusion. And for saying not be. Because I read that clip they myself, I watch them. And the other thing to what the First Lady do, the First Lady did a lot of mistakes in this project. Lots of mistakes. The main one, you did launch a project like that, Hands of My Girls. You decide to bring all the First Ladies from West Africa, waiting them come one as Salone do with the project. Not a money waste, not a resources waste. Lot of resources that you could have used in the project, you just wasted it. Hands of My Girls, what's the First Lady then he get for do? It could have been you implementing your projects and the programs, then the first lady then go see what you don't do. Then they invite you to say, the way you don't work in a salon, we like our can't teach we back. It left the Sierra Leoneans the way will be affected directly. Implement these projects in the school. Allow the school curriculum to have sex education directly dealing with rape. So the beginning go begin for learning from daycare, from the day home daycare where they go up to the school, like then to the school curriculum. Because sex now something we know they talk about na salon, then they own is common, it's normal for our people then. I not ever remember me mama tell me say, wait man do this so you so go happy. No, never was I thought about sex. We not even do an school self, no sex education. Rather people then go say this person is bad. Look why they tell people about sex. Now bad you want teaching us so picking. So some people then go withdraw them picking in our school if we not talk about sex education. So the first thing the first lady for don't do, implement sex education in the school and make it mandatory. The picking and send at school, the boy picking and say go they learn for say, you know, just go touch girl picking any part of it. Like first all the group then go knock you away, say me girlfriend. Like how you say, hey, look you Bobby by don't big. Monday they do that. That's wrong. That's sexual assault. You not go touch a woman by waist, you not go touch by in Bobby if you not allow you. And that's something very common in our community, very common in Sierra Leone. So include sex and rape as a major topic because this they happen. We parents they need to talk to we but put on at the school curriculum, especially now when the president don't talk say free education for everybody. So a child from kindergarten, let's say from 0 to 16 years, have the right to be in school. They have the right to education. So for the first lady for don't implement that in the curriculum, you are forced to hear it. You are forced to take that classes. You are forced to learn about yourself. You are forced to know that you, the bobo, they go rape this titi, you are a predator. And then this person a victim. This and this and this could happen to her right in the classroom. When the beginning of common do then go implement them. But if you can't team up now, though they talk say now lie and they lie, how do you expect a child to go and talk next time? How you expect that mommy for can't talk? Another thing where another big mistake when we feel say the first lady do going around the whole country they talk about saying it does not make any sense. Now that they make the incident and they occur now people and they like how you say okay how will they rape and can't do what you get for Buddha your sex hands off their girls. What you go do with? Without rape and what you go do with? You take care they say if anybody molests you now beat them. Would that really, has that actually accomplished anything? No, it just escalated the situation. So what if I don't do now? If I don't make sure, say, implement projects in all the districts, get, like yes, we get shelters, we get crisis line, we get SWAT team that will go to the homes to investigate and maybe capture the person where don't go rape this person. You know that no picking a can't tell like social worker. Nobody can tell me say, oh, me man rape me, I talk saying a lie. As long as you don't tell me, now my responsibility for make sure say I help this woman get the right resources where do am because of what you don't go to. We not ever tell person say a lie. I not get money, we not even look like bank account. Okay, what's the problem? We have to deal with the situation as it comes. But if you go begin to talk say now Kenny they go around the whole country. All that in a waste of money. How many crisis centers in day? Na Salone. How many crisis lines in day na Salone? When something because like woman themselves, woman they not understand say you the married man but you want to rape you. We not get that understand na Salone. People they not get that because they are not educated. So if the woman they don't rape them, if there is a crisis line where you go run for go to make that call or take and put on a shelter. Where you don't get this situation with the man until the incident is investigated, then it will be okay. But we not get no crisis centers. We don't have crisis line. How this issue go dealt with now? How we go deal with the rape? For instance, this Khadija in I don't bring how much inside, but what we hear, the brother and raper, they rape the big sister first. And my question is, why did you allow these children to still remain in that home after there have been a report that their brother molested them, sexually molested the older daughter. There and then, therefore, don't take that pikin, they cry and go to safety. That child should have been removed, or this guy should have been removed from the home right away. Then by now, we're not the talk about Khadija in Taiwan. So, the First Lady, you have a very, very excellent flagship project. But did you really do the work well? No, I have to tell you that for free. Some of us as social workers, you have psychologists, you have therapists, you have counselors. Those are the people you could have worked with well together way to make sure that you have this project and it be beneficial for Sierra Leoneans. Look like policemen, they're involved in this, in raping. These are the people who should have protected these people. The police should have been the ones to protect the victims, but they are the ones to get also the perpetrators. So what is this project that you are talking about? What have you really done with your project, Hands Off My Girls? Excellent project, First Lady. But you not deal with this your project the way if you don't work with them. If you don't get shelters, if you don't get crisis lines, if you don't get workers and where you go work with directly. If you don't get social workers involved in this, if you don't get policemen, we call them SWAT team. If you don't get specific group of people who are just there for this issue, like all this happen now, we get whether they go work with directly. But you did not do all of that. What did the First Lady then do? Can't waste money, waste food, then go. What did they really do? I don't know. And the women and then as Salone, when they go through this situation every day with them picking them. The woman and then as Salone is supposed to don't call and get in the all get a conference. The picking and say because you have to involve the children and you have to get also the victim that involved in these issues. Because then we're able to tell you what in they really, how they feel and what in they go through. But you go decide for sideline them, bring your First Ladies to do what? Seriously. Going around the country talking about fair, I don't understand it. For me, it don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. So where the number one line, where then as Salone for say if something happened to you, call. Which line, which crisis line do we have?
They just implemented it last week. I think it's 117 now you call. Last week it was implemented because
just last week. So if Khadija has not died, nothing like that was going to be implemented. First Lady, you have a very excellent flagship program. You should have used that time to help women and children in Sierra Leone to regain their self-esteem, empower them. But you decide for begin to go talk, say not to be. You can never do that. Don't you ever judge a victim. If somebody comes to you say I've been raped, listen to them and try to work with them. Otherwise, this incident will continue. As you see, and so if we better all they talk about her now. Maybe by now, Khadija, who is not like a saint for this rape issue at Salone, sometime because of in death now, people their eyes and go open.
Okay. I go open the phone line now, but before I take the first call, I want to ask you 1 minute, in 1 minute, why is Sierra Leone always going and signing these conventions and treaties and to some extent going to the extent of ratifying them, but they're not implement within the laws them and the treaties they say?
Well, just like the way they talk, Mama, we not respect the law. We now they up here that we not feel say we not they respect the law. Nobody not go respect the law. It has to start from top bottom, or sometimes too start from bottom top. Like for instance, this woman they talk say in picking a doctor, nine raper. A doctor rape 5 years old picking or 4 years. I don't even know the age. Now doctor nine rape that picking. Whereas they don't talk say the psychology of rape. One man then they always rape. One of them is that because they are disadvantaged men where they know they get one almost for keep. But this man, according to this, what this woman don't say, he even go to his girlfriend, and to his girlfriend he go for go work out, they go rape picking their back. So it's confusing. The law has to be implemented. There should be zero tolerance for rape. If they don't rape somebody, they say they don't rape, and the person get for suffer the consequences. That's period. No black, no here and there. Period. It just have to be implemented. Like other doctor, the woman say he rape you pikin, therefore don't take the case up. It should have been locked up in jail while they do the investigation. But you, first lady, don't already go team up na public they talk say it not a case will be. How you go do that? Then how you want now? Okay, so when small other people, then the lesser people then go rape now, they will want to bring the issue up. But like you said, we grandpa they rape, we granny we uncle then they rape. But all of that is afraid for talk because the family, not bring the family in name and shame. Not bring not bring a kind of public. Now you know like picking. These are things that are happening. You are oppressing our people. We then need and then we net all the time as women. You don't get no power for talk. You don't get voice. Kids in Sierra Leone are seen, but they are not heard. When you talk, they say this speaking too fit. Then just a serious, yes, but you cannot say anything. You can talk. You can complain. You can report when something is not right. Because Sierra Leonean children are seen, but they are not heard.
Exactly. Thank you very much. The Sierra Leonean children are seen at the not heard. I'm going to the phone line, please, because we have a very long list. I want to tackle this issue as best I can today. Today not going to be the only day where we tackle them. Everybody today gets 2 minutes. 2 minutes for make them point. 2 minutes for make them point. Each caller will be given 2 minutes to make their points. So I go to the first caller. Caller, waiting your name and who you call for.
Hello, this is Yusuf Bad, call from Virginia.
Yeah, what do you get for we this evening?
Okay. First of all, I tell you plenty thank you for coming up with this program tonight. But also, what to make it for says, I think that we need to applaud the First Lady for the initiative. The reason make her say so, because we don't get previous, this is not anything political though, but we don't get a lot of previous administrations, and so then say we don't get a lot of previous first ladies. Then we don't ever get this kind, none ever come up with this kind of initiative.
No,
and
they
it
have.
also needed support. Hello.
Yeah, Patricia Kaba was the first person to. She actually initiated waiting we now know as lawyers for help rape and rape victims. Them now then they be in platform, and she was also a member of that. She fought heavily for girls and rape, abused, and then it was violent abuse against women. She did a lot of work on that. So I know go sit down so make we and then not really straighten out with history. She is not the first lady to have done that. Patricia Kaba was actually.
Okay. Well, thank you for the correction. But what I had to say is, we'll not be able to get the publicity of probably I would believe I stand to be corrected, but not to me one not gonna know about whoever belong come to force, But we'll never get this kind of awareness and publicity into it, The point is, it needed support, In one grain, instead of with the people that go and demonize them for the idea or neither for the except for the team not get it, it needed support, It needed support for especially the women there, Africa in general, we're not in a very polarized nations, And the country where they're down at the index of human development. There's this thing that's susceptible to that, The rape in general, in a country like that, they're vulnerable to rape, It gets a lot of things to do, So it needs a lot of support. And not the count on the shortcomings there, Not we help them, let this care get an effect, It gets focused when you're not going to reach, We know how Africa did, in general, the laws not there everywhere. Certain things will happen in a very remote side where people are not going to know how they happen there, So it needs a lot of support. It needs a lot of support,
Okay.
And Yeah, and other thing then they again for do where.
Thank you very much, caller. I go move on to the next call. Caller, waiting at your name and who say you the call from.
Hello, listener Anthony. At the call from Hong Kong.
Yes, what
and,
you get?
Thank you very, very much for this program. A very, very good one, and especially this hot topic. So I think a good way, they really taken our time, they deliver this invaluable program for we. So actually, hearing both what Matilda say and the other guest regarding the first lady. First of all, I would say Peking, Mama, they are fault, even though it's sick, but they are fault. When you find out the case, what you for able for do, and for go now, let's take the physical evidence to that a rape case. You understand? And if you actually go, don't take that on the first instance, meet the doctor. Don't allow anybody for stop. Meet the doctor and face up. Then the next step, go to the physical evidence. Because if the government don't say rape case now life imprisonment, you need hard evidence, not just word of mouth. So, all the say the first lady there are for of course the first lady because say word of mouth not the stand in this kind of case. You need hard evidence. This is point number one. Point number two. Where say the decision where the first lady take where bring the other first ladies. Of course, just like the other callers say, you need support for anything. And it says Leone poor. So you need foreign donors to help to make anything where we do not progress. Unfortunately, even though we want to in terms of mineral resources, but still economically we depart. So if you get the other first ladies on board, then go able to talk to the respective mandate so that they will put money where they will put money aside where they purposely for the funded kind the necessary things that we will need for able to address this issue. You understand? So therefore, to me, one, I don't blame the first lady simply because there is no hard evidence. You need to get that evidence because once you don't lose that evidence, once you don't take any evidence, no medical report, no nothing. Even though if you don't also go to police and go to the case to police, make a statement, so you get that evidence they done, then you guys something for sure.
Thank you, caller. I go because your time done. You go get for call back again if you get more for add. Madam Sally, you can get something for say quickly. I go make you say and then go to the next caller.
Well, for the first caller, where they talk say we they cry down the first lady in projects, we not cry on that move. You hear me? I say now excellent project. It was a very excellent flagship project where it bring come. The way and manner no way the way deal with them, now I mean not say correct. Because for one, if they deal about hands of my girls, if I don't get project them on the ground where they will really benefit from them directly. For instance, let's say it decide to build shelters. Now several, let's say maybe a couple of shelters from various places. A woman, they try to run away from a violence home, keep the woman into the same house. She has to be somewhere so that the investigation will go on. Then if we just pass someone talk, but go what? Even like just here, we said the first crisis line. Now last week, now they go put on crisis line. You have hands of my project. Those projects could have been, those are the things that she could have done. Get a crisis line, get a crisis shelter, get a group of people they go work with. Like how they say, the first person where you talk say, you need help. Yes, she needs social workers, therapists, counselors, all them why they will come together. Then even let's say the people themselves in the country, the schools, project like this kind when at the school lunch and day for them at the school. If you begin to even make yourself like a club, hands of a girls club in the various schools, that's also another good way for luncheon. Then you talk about they not get evidence. Where something like a rape be, No,
My,
no cry that the person
can
say.
I hold you there because I know say more of such questions go coincide and I want make you address them holistically.
Okay.
If you don't mind, make I go to the caller then because I know so much more question in that line go come. I want make we address them holistically. And okay, let's make we address things in bits. Make we attack the issue. Let's attack it holistically. Okay, so caller, I will go to the next caller. Caller, what's your name and who's you call from?
I call from Toronto. This na concern number 11.
Concern, what you get for we this evening time?
First of all, I want to commend now Matilda and my sister Mataselu. You know, Mataselu don't even deal with a case for me in Alberta. The Tewa Dede. So I well qualify somebody. But me on question I want to ask is this. If you look this whole thing from the top, take and down, a routine.
Yes.
Speaker of the House, they sleep with picking them. Where in picking them big pass. How comfortable it go be for let them go pass rape case now in front of them, where go cheer them. The system all routine. Minister then they sleep with Pecky to them. Parliamentarian then they sleep with Pecky to them. JC then they sleep with Pecky to them. Teachers then they sleep with small picking them. Pastors, imam, taxi drivers. So you tell me how this problem easy for solve. We all want to solve. But this not the problem. Now I make a one post. I say how person they become non-Sierra Leone. And then country there, yes, opportunity there. But who way they ways than they for protect them. They're not able to do them. But trust me, Salone are not in order. Because how you can able to prove rape safe where we minister, where we leaders and they can fly instead of put certain measures in place, forensic and whatever. You know they able to prove rape. Now this word against this word. Then they all know the problem na Salone. Me they talk to politicians and let them do we leaders them. Let them put measures in place for help Sierra Leone. For once, we don't tire. 59 years. Every blessed day. As a father of 3 girls, I don't want to talk about Khadija because I'm picking age group. You know? But let the politicians shine their eyes there and do the right thing. They know it's not the right thing. Then self they do and they're all Lebanese, they do. They know. So I'll be done in just a short one. Maybe I will come back.
Thank you very much, caller. We go to the next call. Caller, waiting at your name and who say you the call from.
Yes, good evening, Miss Matilda, Miss Salio, I repeat now too plenty, thank you. The situation we see in Salone today, Khadija don't die, but we get a lot of Khadijas then where they die in silence.
Right.
As me go say, I go really embark on waiting Miss Salio say. The First Lady in program now a very excellent program. But me feel say the thing we don't plague we in Salone. Me not a political person, far from it. But we think don't plague we. The previous government, the present government, let them look and consult people them of substance. We know what thing them they do. We go render benefit to whatever program we they want for take up. Just putting the program out there no mean say it will become effective. But if you put people that will go carry out effectively, then we go see results. Now this may they appeal to we First Lady. Let it go back. It mean well. Let it go back and see how it go consult. Like when Miss Salio they say psychologists them, social workers them, line them with people and they call. You know, put things in a place where will make whatever you they try for do, it will become successful. But launching the program without any things and where they in place to go make it work, it's just waste of time. That's all me get for say. I tell una thank you for una time. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Before I go on for talk, rub much small and waiting the caller, then don't say. I want to make we all listen to one mama where they rape a 9-year-old Peking and how then they dilly-dally with the case. And this one also go make una understand the frustration of parents when then they deal with people them we get a little bit of connection or a little bit of clout. Now the system. This is the frustration that people them we brazen, we bold enough for come forward, for say something, for talk, for advocate for them, picking them. These are the type of frustration they face. And because, and I say this again, and I say it with all humbleness and all humility and all reverence to the parents of Khadija, meaning no harm whatsoever. But however, your daughter's case will be heard. Your daughter's case will be fought for. However, like the dad said, there are many Khadijas whose cases go silent because, guess waiting, this, and the connection not there forfeit the case. It should never be so because we are all equal. We all get rights to equal, justice. We all get rights to equal access, regardless of your background, regardless of your financial substance or financial backing. Today, I stand here in the voice of Khadija, feeling the pain of Khadija and saying that indeed there are many Khadijas for whom we may never know. For whom we may never know. I go beg the technical team, make them play that Mamade and make you sense the frustration. This happened in McKinney.
Thousand Leone's and Kota. Don't call on Salone police for investigate the case and for making Pimping get justice. We go join Wani Gawuja, but before the report, we want to tell listeners and say the report gets some words and we go be disturbing. We already prepare in mind and we say sorry for that.
You better be the blood come up on me. I be afraid for telling me mama if saying they beat me.
This now waiting plenty picking them can go through and afraid for discuss them with them parents them or the people them where they mend them. People go they wonder if them can't see how they happen because parents them not can get time for listen to them picking them. That voice they just know. Now voice of one 13-year-old girl picking where be they explain to me inside one telephone interview but how he alleged say one foreigner where they work now one car center been do mommy and daddy business with them.
They sell motorcar there. Where's cooking come on? We all can go to the man, go give water. Sunday night he call we back, go to I go give water. So now we think now we go. Go take the water. So now he pick me, say go take water inside the freezer. Wow, open the freezer, water not be there. Now he say me call the man do mommy and daddy business room. So why do mommy and daddy business with me? Now he give me the 1,000. What kind of us? Lord be the over panel skin size them do nine apple go kana enga. I want to let them better be that so I don't be able to talk to nobody not did.
This speaking day to men to in mama and sister. We don't men am from where is small. And now this woman, he don't know as in mama. And this woman say one day he begin notice strange thing them. Body speaking.
Okay, one with man in the area and a car center near the school, around the school, na they then car center. Then they buy water. Now water na they give them. Water. We became where they go school, and they come quick na us. I said to now, they let what happen. Now he tell me say, now the time when they come out school. But still, they count school at na us. Personally, the one at na me man is small brother. na Isian and that car center dey, now you can't tell me. So why cow they can't want at this school at the other Saturday? Now I said I say this water where the cow so I said I not satisfy you. I said can't show me back where you can go to them play what they can give you or what they can do to you. Now he tell me say no okay do nothing. Now I say sure. Now he say yes. Now I say okay. I said tomorrow I dey carry you go to them and me there for them go check you if you not do man if you don't start my business. So now he say auntie no carry me go. Now he say the man don't let them with 210. Now I say I say wait the man they don't with you. I say what did they give you? Now I say they get 1,000 when they don't with them.
This the mama say from wetin e hear from this pikin be make e go with this matter. Now the family support unit na Lumni police station and then be send am for go do medical na Rainbow Center. And he be surprised with wetin e find out.
Why I go the pikin na cottage? As the pikin also with me no be I call me. He say, hey, what I this pikin now? I say, look me ma. Now he say self can see for himself. So the ask the pikin, the double tapping and I know but talk no again. Me be see what me say. I don't want to tell me again. So this time you don't say now where this time they on from March till today and I saw no more. You turn the talk. At the corner police station. Not what I said to moto. At the work day, at the call till today I not see it. So na me. I want people fight for me. I not an option. Which I do. Policeman want to fight for me.
As this matter, they now na the family support unit na Lumni police station. I try to get the police where they in charge of this case, but not be able to get them. And say to the same way I they put these reports together. I be send text message to them, but it not be respond. But Radio Democracy go continue for investigate for know how far police don't go with this case. For Radio Democracy, me na Wani Gauja.
We continue.
I want make we go on and also listen to one SLBC report of the 9-year-old Pekin na Makeni. Make we listen wetin happen there.
I McKinney, well, inside McKinney again, they say rape don't be there, we now 9-year-old Pekin, but this thing don't be, it don't the ton, it no they tell no they. So we have Mohamed Dawda Kamara, being go and engage the mommy when I born in Pekin. Now ask me for him name, just listen.
Yeah, and me being left in Pekin. I left her, I go Kabbalah. They left vaginate in Pekin. I meet in Pekin, no work, you know, they go work in private, all those show as well. Now I ask, I say, what happen? Say, now I'm an vaginator, I'm a Kenya. So I don't go, they go call the man in name, they send we na police. We don't go na police now, they lock the man for 3 days. After 3 days, we then don't lock her. They left the man without me, no. They no consult me, pastor will go back, will go ask back, what happen? Now they say now for the 3 days lockdown there, they not get food for the man. They say look and sit down, now they will come back. After the 3 days lockdown, we'll go there back. We work another place, they say, now they send we na hospital. They send we na hospital, we don't go do medical, na Rainbow hospital. Nurse then, now they take care of me picking now. Even the clothes the way he wear, I get them. I know what's late, I not book it because they say I not book it. Now they will go, I don't care go me picking, take treat in our hospital. Now I'm gonna they ask the policeman there how the case. Then tell me say they don't send the case now to the district council. 2 months ago now the 3 months this so 30 days I know able to get nothing for me picking in case. I don't go I go social welfare, I go this place human rights. I don't pass all they say like can't done. Say they don't demand a boss they say in case don't go done in case the case don't buff. You are the way they want let them do as so. They don't shame and the case don't buff. Now I say but me case no buff it. I will go in and out for that report for me case because I don't get money, I don't know if na for that something, I don't know if the man na bribe, you go bribe, I don't know. So now I make myself I can't report. I don't go back na the Rainbow hospital. Rainbow hospital even the nurse there. They ask me and say how that picking in case they get interest for that picking in case. But me I don't know what happen. Even what they call social welfare, they know they take me, me call again. I dey call na police so they know they take me call again.
So now man with the boast, you don't ever send people there around like for can bribe you for use money for making not
Yes, he
talk?
send people them. If they say let them can't talk to me, so let them show I must me man spend. Let them return the will. Be let not make let that man go jail. Now I say no. I say me I don't want nothing. I say me na me picking in rights now I want. I say I know they take money for me picking. I say because me picking is too small. 9 years of age. Also go vaginate you picking. The way they done, the man they go and cost both say in case don't free, in case don't buffing. After us, you know they go north side again, they begin work. Now say me I know they do. I know they take no bribe for me picking in and out. I go report for let no more like get me picking in rights.
Okay, right now, what do you want for make the people all about the world do for you?
I want let them fight for me. Let them look for me picking in sorriness. Let them fight for me because me I don't get money. I don't get money for go bribe. I don't get money for go bribe. So let them help me. I they beg the world. Let them help me for me picking. Me 9 years of age picking. Then don't vaginate her. Don't me I don't get money for go bribe police or neither I go bribe anyone. Do you let them help me?
Teacher so come on na school. So can sweep the classroom. Now also go on the rest because we know that we for the sweep the class. I go now house and miss the place lock. I will return now for car and for go sleep. We talking now with. You give me mango. The mango no be for it and not to here. Now you see me can wait for under the mango. Stick away. Now you go give me water. Now I drink that water. I wait stay for a back now. Now I begin sleep. Now you told me go to me inside the office. You said sleep.
A leader with you?
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
So after that, we leader with you?
No be you be work up. That's why they go and investigate. Say I get.
Yes, I know say today na a tough day waiting on the listen, waiting on the hearing. This particular case na McKinney, I go gladly for tell me fumble and say one good at Sierra Leonean wedding in London don't take up the matter personally and he get from it they make just say this particular case justice is served. But this case, I don't talk to the person directly. I don't get in touch with the person directly. And you know, get for left this matter as a matter of fact. He don't take on the case. He don't talk to the mommy. He don't get in contact with the FSU, practitioners them. He don't contact a lawyer na free tongue for take on the matter. Is not leaving any stone unturned in this particular matter. But yet I say, this one also got lucky. I know the justice will be served in her case because I know the person we don't take on this matter and a person we know the joke. He is what he sought. And when he says he is going to do something, he will make sure to do it. But again, how many of these cases them? How many of these cases them they go both case? So now you're waiting the mommy say. The man them pull am. They say lockdown. They not get it for gear na the prison. So because they not get it for gear na the prison, they left and go. After the lockdown done, they not bring and come back. He don't waka inside. He don't waka inside. They don't left and make it go scotch free to the point now where it taunt. It taunt the mommy and the pikin and talk say in case na bon fee. A 13-year-old, Lumbly, they rape her because of one packet water, 1,000 Leone. So our entire humanity, our entire being, our entire future is worth 1,000 Leone by a foreigner. By a foreigner. Oh, when we they talk about the foreigner, them I not go left with JC them back. Then we brother them. We sit down so they whip people behind. They crop treats. Then we then go free tongue, then go make like for say they are the be all and end all and they have it all. And then go seize advantage pan picking them. Then boku where they come on at the diaspora. When I done they bet no more than they go for. Then boku where they come on at the diaspora. When I done they bet no more than they go for. So I no go talk by the dog, I not talk by the bone. Because when they say you talk on the dog, you need for talk on the bone. In as much as the thing they happen inside there, and then the foreigner then they come, then can add the own inside. We also get we own brother then I so we ought for no better. Where they live now the West, they know the constitution of the West, they know the child protection law, they know the advocacy law, they know all that thing and they. But yet when they go back home, then they make big fool. When they go back home, they make dukunu. They make like say they don't understand. Not to come on pan they don't left belly and then we sister them and then we picking them. Don't render them useless, don't render them hopeless. So Madam Sally, I want to ask you, what thing we get for do? Really? Really? We get for do for help with brothers and with sisters them. And for educate with brothers and with sisters them and we mama them. For make we tell them, say, listen, your girl child is what more than Ruby. Your girl child is what more than Ruby. Make we show them, make we they teach them, say, you boy pikin no better pass you girl pikin. Your boy pikin is of the same value as you girl pikin. And for also make we tie we oja and make we boy picking and no say, you know, they are what more than what they make them up to be. Because listen, this rape system not open the girl picking and no more. The boy picking and self they suffer their own. It's just that the boy picking and can set them out, not to the all they can before and talk. So we have a lot of men masquerading in suits that are highly traumatized men. That are highly traumatized men. We don't get no concept of love, no concept of affection. Waiting, what is the way forward? What is the way forward?
Thank you again for this. I think, well, before I go into that, I think I will just want rub down small and some people, they wouldn't talk, the one they will ask questions, we make comments. I know say somebody be they talk, say there is no proof, how they will prove, nobody will prove rape. No, you can. You can prove rape. It's easy as that, especially the kind way some people they do and a small begin there. Some they're not going to even begin man business. So it's easy for let them know. And like I go back to the talk, say the first lady, this in project we launch them. If you been surrounding yourself with the people they will know what thing they do, then all these issues then can be solved by now. Like we got last while we said we go to call Zebra Center, that they deal purely with sexual assault cases. So if you said they're not a forensic lab, that now one, you know they. Now, Salone, no forensic lab, nothing, no day. So let's assume it's not even there. If they get a group of workers, like social workers, we're purely trained how to detect and how to be able to understand sexual assault cases, then people then they can be back now. Another group then they back where the first lady can work with. So she can have all these people surrounding her to be able to work through this project. Because most of them issue they also with the way they deal with either prostitution or rape and a lot of violence against women. Most of it they come under that project. So the person they talk about and they for say there is no way for proof rape. Yes, there is a way. Now just because we not get the amenities in Sierra Leone, I make this they happen. And also talk say somebody they talk say what talk say the launching of the first lady, not for me don't okay. Enough for me. For don't invite the first lady then for the project. No, it's good I invite them, but the resources were spent on that invitation of inviting the first ladies at the time of launching, she could have used that money or the resources to do more work in Sierra Leone. I agree, the first lady, if I don't find it, no. But if after I don't launch that, as time goes on, the way we go see how profitable and how many the kind of results we're going to get from the project. Now there, if they try to implement conferences, for invite other first ladies and for join, so that their second be part for see how it work for them able for get the kind of results we they get. But launching a project, all the money we spend that. Then what about what's in the other African countries they don't do? How much they don't spend into this project since their first ladies left? We have not heard about anything. So even if you be they say because they go help, what did they help? Then says you don't think trunk at their own country then. Who said they go pull up? Then get the issue them. It was pass with you. So who said they go pull out for can't help Salone? It's not possible. That was just a waste of resources. I'm not going to say what the first lady knew was wrong, but at that time it was not necessary. She could have used those funds, for instance, get a zebra center. We say go get professionals then. We're able for interview this speaking there. We're able for talk to the victims there. As young as 2 years old. If now people that won't really qualify, professionals will qualify for that, then can able to get 2 years old for tell them exactly what happened during the rape. We can do all of that as young as 2 years. Then also, like when my brother they talk say this concern number 11, concern number 11. I don't know whether that's how he called himself, but wait, I agree with you, my brother. We need a total overhaul of the system in Sierra Leone. NEFCOT, total overhaul. Our system is broken. The Sierra Leone system is rotting. Our medical system know what to write about home and not what to talk about the justice and everything. We need a total overhaul in Sierra Leone. If you not to that, we are just pouring water on ducks' back. We go come back to the same thing. We go talk, we talk. At the end of the day, it's going back to the same nonsense. Rotorata, botobata, same thing. Nothing changes. So we need a total overhaul of the Sierra Leonean system. And one, we go help people them forget justice. That woman go talk, they go pull the person in a prison. Now it taunts them. What don't happen? So they have to end impunity as soon as they can in Sierra Leone. Anybody will come up with rape case for deal with the issues right then. They are not, of course, the delay of justice is worst. Look like what this woman they talk about in 13-year-old Peking. It don't work at it don't run nothing ever has been done. And even the victim, then what protection do we have for the victims? What do we do to protect those girls? Then this person now they don't release that. You got to go back into the community back and start raping other girls because he walked free. Yeah, we don't commit the crime once. He got to go back for continue for commit the crime. What have they done? Nothing. What in this Peking don't go through? Nana provoke the mommy with Peking. How fair is that to these girls? Yeah. How fair is that? And we are all sitting down saying that, oh, the First Lady's project is good. Yes, it is an excellent project. Don't get me wrong, my brother. But the way of the project is not handled properly. And just a waste of resources and money. You cannot go around the country talking about hands off my girls when you have not been able to achieve anything. Let me prove the result. Prove it. What is your statistics? After your hands off my girls, what is your statistics to tell us that your project have ever achieve anything? Let's see it, But anyway, before we can go further into that again, like what we talk, we get for continue. The conversation has to continue. We cannot stop now. Right. We can't stop. We have to continue this conversation. And we have to start the conversation as far as in the schools. Maybe, Mr. President, if you hear me, include sex education, make it mandatory right now in Sierra Leone. We need it in the curriculum. Include it in the curriculum, please. Sex education should be included in the curriculum. Because although we have violence against women, but sex, violence, and sex, they go to the same. That's not the major thing we face right now. We need it in the school curriculums. Then picking them for learn from school, how for understand their body parts, how for know when it's wrong, for how person they call it. Because the rapist, he get for bet you, he get for make you find. What's that picking say? He they give them cold water all the time. If they give them cold water all the time, if they try for get you for let them, if they try for get you for believing them, as soon as you don't get you no more, forget you now for rape you easy. Because now you believe when this man calls me in his bedroom, he's going to give me a packet of cold water and 1,000 leons. What do 1,000 leons they do? The other things are for realize for sale. Some of them people that so they already get AIDS, then they go on as Sierra Leone, go put them by picking and they. A lot of AIDS then at Salone right now, HIV positive picking them, all because of this sexual violence or when the picking they go through. Some people then they rape the picking them, then give them, infect them. Okay. And some of them too.
I go hold you there. I go to the callers them. I go take the last 3 calls and then we go cancel them and close the and talk and wrap up this program proper. Caller waiting on your name and who say the call from.
Hello, this is Anthony. I just had a call from Hong Kong, and thank you for picking up my call again. I just want to talk and clarify about that evidence stuff I've been talk about. Evidence actually, if what some people they say, if they lost the evidence, they're not going able for program, not also, so that make immediately when the rape happen, when you get all the evidence, if you go to the hospital, go to the police and take all this stuff, and that's what they talk about. I know they talk, you're not going to prove rape, you're not going to prove rape. You go only prove them if you get the evidence, and that's how they talk. Then we come to that first lady meeting, for the meeting of the first lady. Please, I need for understand for saying, where come to that kind of case there? I mean, no sign of the war within the Guam in 2 months, 3 months. This is not long haul business. This is not long haul business. In fact, very recently, that lady in Pekin, Madeleine McCain, that British woman in Pekin, we've been disappeared 13 years ago. Then they follow the case. Now, recently, they don't begin to get lead on the case. You see, so when thing they end, so that first lady, they meet in meeting, not to spontaneous something, but not something where the lady don't start. Where if all the Sierra Leoneans them come together, it make sure say it work, then it go able to work. You see, the first lady now, just a single person, not going to do everything. So we need for support, man. We need for make sure say the effort we don't start, it work. Yeah, we're not going to expect. No, in 2 years we expect them to do everything. No, it's unfair. Okay, so but the other thing again, somebody when they talk about that parental planning. To be honest, I don't agree with it. You know why? Because people, I remember during George Bush in time, they talk about abstinence for prevent HIV. People then say no, sex education. What did sex education don't do? Always put picking an Australian. They don't go do implant. So that means picking and say now they don't go do sex as much as they want to know get pregnant because of the implant. You see, so now where would they accept this Western waiting and call whether they impose them and they lead we astray. Anyway, because I guess no time, I don't want to talk too long. So thank you very much for taking the call. Thank you.
Thank you very much, caller. I will go on to the next call. Caller, waiting at your name and who say the call from.
This is concerns Leone and the call from Philadelphia.
Okay, what do you get for we this evening time?
I don't follow the program. This program is so much enlightening. I enjoy the program. Thank you so much, Matilda, and the other lady. Even I don't remember her name. You know, now one thing me they say, Sierra Leone, all waiting on the talk. So this problem rooted to one thing. The judicial system of Sierra Leone is nothing to write home about. You understand? If people and they get impunity and things the way that they do continually for the past 20, 30 years, because the issue of rape, not to today business, not to yesterday business, it don't carry on for long. You understand? Now, just because people they no say, they will do them and nothing will come out of this. You understand? And me, for example, when I come abroad, the first thing I realize now this country and law and order. You understand? Eh? Even though then get some of them flows them, and imagine country like America, Canada, London, where the law is all water, people and still they do crime, them people and still they rape. You understand? But it minimize because everybody know the consequences. But Sierra Leone is free for all. Tell to the doctors them, if doctor no say if you do the wrong description, you understand, you get for go answer to that. They not go do that day. But because the law not all water na Sierra Leone, everybody go do what he want. You understand? So the root cause of every major problem na Sierra Leone, now the judiciary, until then strengthen the judiciary and people they know them worth, why then they practice law in that country day, as word of God Sierra Leone go change. But if not, this will not go talk, everybody will talk for the next 10, 20 years. If they don't try for strengthening and change the rules and other co-panelists they talk about a complete overhaul now the judiciary system, Sierra Leone will always be like I did so, or with the head for even the worst. You understand? Then I mean on side and the second thing I want to contribute, man, the issue of rape. One thing that I want to let people not forget, what I want to let people highlight. These girls to girls issues na Sierra Leone, I want to let people focus, but then they also, you know, and especially the use of this social media. People them they forget them picking even to themselves, girls to girls. Parents they need for monitor the kind party where girl picking the kid. Even if it can in company when a woman say this is not my friend, monitor them phone, who that they talk to, waiting and they do. You understand? Let's not forget that side at all. Now, my own contribution and the girls to girls intimacy. It's too much na Salone. Now, wale parents in the focus there. Thank you, Matilda.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I will take the last 2 calls on the queue. So, caller, waiting at your name and who say the call from.
This now concern number 11 again.
Okay, go ahead, concern 11.
Like what me want to say, this problem not just the judiciary. It's a cultural problem where we all can feel for peace. Because na Salone you see a chief people then they can't take the young people then Bobino Tima find it. Then go hand over to chief for marriage. And why then chief then important? I know I'm drag into politics. Now the chief then at that only. You mess with them, where election tanker, you know they win that election day. These are all this now problem. Now then they make even Charles Magai not popular because he said them for do election for chiefs then. Na Salone. Now I make everybody forget about Charles Magai. They abandon them. This na problem na Salone. Where I mean na problem, you know they go imam or last say money man. Now in they feed you. You are you picking them. A rape you picking. You go afraid for reporter. So like then get for car with a system where picking and get side and just like what in matter say. Picking and get side away then for even go complain apart from them parents themselves. Just like Canada. Because you tell your parents, you tell your mama and papa, now this money man and they give money for feed you. That passes, no one disgrace, no one in 7 or 8 to kill suffer. Instead, it go say it go kill the case. That people live with that trauma for the rest of your life. These are all the problems. Now just that is my last call for today.
Thank you very much, concern 11. And now I will move on to the last call for tonight. The last call for tonight, and I will close the phone lines. Caller, waiting at your name and who say the call from. Thank you very much. Hello?
Yes, hello. How are you?
Hello? Caller? Hello, caller?
Yes. Good evening, Miss Matilda and Miss the other lady. How are you do?
No bad, are you safe?
Oh, thank God. I want to tell you thank you for such a wonderful program. I really joined late, but from the point where I meet, I just want to make a few points. One is about this judiciary thing where we did talk about Sierra Leone. One caller say not to see the business. This not we don't do. From when you as long as you can imagine, if you don't do. And I did tell now of an experience where I live in New England with somebody, they rape in Pekin. I think I've been deputy minister. They rape this person in Pekin. They overnight, everybody, the whole community, everybody said this now for go report, now for go na FSU, go na police, everything. Midnight, I think the person, the rapist, the alleged rapist, send people them. Waiting who's kind meeting and can't get with the family, who's kind meeting and not get, nobody knows. After that meeting, then in the morning, guess what happened? The very beginning parents then they tell people in the area, anybody who will read that talk in the mouth who will put foot now one process. This gets to do with the lack of community sensitization and education about the disadvantages that we involve, not to just that small money we person they can give you. It don't destroy you picking in future. That's my one thing. When it comes and then a reason, now one of the reasons we make the judiciary no able do what they're supposed for they do. For that, the people they don't lost confidence in this judiciary to the extent that nobody no feel na Sierra Leone say if I take my case na police or if we even go court, even one no say they wrong me, then I will get me right. Nobody in Sierra Leone would I really believe that. We all in Sierra Leone just the thing say now other way you will win case na court or na police. The very police and they tell on back say when I can't look can't talk as a family. Now the police and they tell now the other day the other caller they say now the family they put pressure on FSU. No, I don't live by the police station. I know from experience. Now the very police and they say no it's in when I go talk when I go na corner come. That when I go fence small thing come when I talk as a family. So now a whole problem with that judiciary now make any government really come at power where they expect say this government will come with a change we then come the one strengthening the young advantages then from the judiciary, law enforcement, then they just make a lost hope. Hope and pray say we'll get a better way, or we'll get that person one day. We will come, irrespective of waiting at the advantage we will get from law enforcement, from the judiciary kingdom. It decides say no waiting, let us strengthen this sector of the country. Until that particular section they come to, nothing will go better. I tell you, I feel sorry for the First Lady. I admire her effort. I like him. If I be this, I will not vote for a man. But I like him as an individual. She's charismatic. She's outspoken. And they try. But I worry if you not get for end up forget bad name at the end of the day. If you're not taking time how to get into this thing let them left on with the law. The law mess up already. Let them all say now the First Lady or now the President and the First Lady for calling people by names or even publicly, trying to find people then guilty now of something like this. Now bad name again for the entire judiciary in a rotten system where the pray say we get that voice for ensure say one day then all we name and shame them and we change that system. They thank you very much. And thanks again for the wonderful program, Miss Matilda. Abdullah from New Jersey.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Abdullah. Abdullah, now our last caller for tonight. If in case una where they watch me, una they wonder or they wonder, because normally this show can start 9 o'clock, 9:30 na net. The new time for now until further notice na 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock, 8:20 latest this show they start. So that is the new time for now until further notice. Should in case you're wondering, say, missed this program, da 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 da. So just get with the new timing. Okay. Miss Sally, I want to ask you a question. In 2019, when the president declared rape as an emergency in Sierra Leone, he lists 7 key things them where he say he go put in place for help coil this issue, for help and the work, make this work here so go before. As we don't see, whenever there is an emergency situation, there are emergency contingent system. In the Ebola situation, we see say the emergency contingencies were put in place. Even right now in the COVID situation, we see say there are lots of emergency measures them where they don't put in place. Quick absorption, medium-term absorption, and long-term strategies them where they don't put in place. Now, I don't know when then they implement, emergency situations them na Salone. I don't know if then they do them through a gender lens. I don't know if then they do them through a gender perspective. I don't know if then they take into consideration that in times of strife, in times of stress, in times of pandemic, in times of, epidemic, in times of any little thing, the most vulnerable in the population are women and girls. I want to ask a question. About a month ago, we see Usai, the government, purchase 30 V8 Toyota Corollas vehicles Then saying for help the how them call and resident ministers them for do their work for help the COVID. The question when me want ask, the resident minister then they not be non get motorcar already? Where you they go do supply for COVID? You know get the army truck and say the paramedic truck where they go deliver the supply already? If the resident minister then already don't get a working vehicle, was the purchase of a V8 Jeeps, where we already in North America, it's very easy for us to find out the cost of V8 Jeeps, right? The starting price of those are what? $85,000 to $100,000 for one. $85,000 to $100,000. That's the starting price. Now make you say you are buying in bulk, then give you a discount of 5,000 for each. Let's say per chance, and I'm making an argument and I'm making a case for them right now. Per chance, they happen for purchase them at $80,000 each. Now let's start times. Let me be conservative in my numbers because I not add the taxes there too. I'm giving you rough estimates of actual price without adding the taxes because you know, so anything when you purchase now, so you therefore put tax on top. I not add the tax it or I not add the freighting cost it. I am being very conservative in my numbers. You purchase 30 of those at $80,000 while you don't declare a year before, a year prior, another emergency. Inside that emergency, they are not say you put in place the contingencies, them, the strategies, them, the tools, them, the support, where that emergency they need for tackle and absorb and do a quick absorption of waiting a need for tackle waiting they happen. In times of COVID, in times of the current crisis where we dey inside, was the purchase of V8 vehicles given to people who already have vehicles. Was that the smartest and the best physical expenditure in this time where we know for say we boy picking them and we girl picking them? Then at the hands of pedophiles.
Obviously, you know, say I will say that's a big no. No, big no, 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 no. That was the worst mistake the president ever do since he don't do lots of mistakes, but this is like the worst. He just slapped we all face. COVID, people then they die. You don't shut down the whole country for several months. People then they don't get food for it. They don't get. Then all you can do is to buy V8 Jeeps for resident ministers. What's in resident minister get for do COVID? What's in resident minister? What did they get for do? Why, you know, okay, now if you assume you wanted to buy this for the doctors, maybe it makes more sense so that the doctor, if he then are lumbly, before they can cannot go able to take in V8 run camp. That makes sense. But what does V8 has to do for resident ministers for COVID? That was totally wrong, Mr. President. I'm sorry, but that's totally wrong. That not really shows that you're sensitive at all. It really shows that you are not sensitive to the needs of our people. But we get ambulance in Africa. You don't see inside the ambulance then? Ambulance, they're not supposed to get beds. They're not supposed to get chairs. They're not supposed to get medical equipment only for even hand emergency drip on the people. Then get medical volunteers, people then will be able to go collect clients, patients from their homes and bring them to the hospital. You don't see where ambulance and Salone. Now grown and then the client, now then the patient is done. Can you imagine that? I've never even seen a patient being collected in those ambulances at all. I've not seen one. The ambulance on me don't see nothing, they say no chair, nothing. If the president before even decides, say, okay, we have ambulance and we can manage the ambulance a day, now just stock them up. Get beds in those ambulances get some chairs, get medical facilities in those ambulances. If you don't answer for buy new ones, if I don't give me small idea, I say yes, he's doing a good job. But no, Mr. President, you totally disappoint some of us here. Buying V8 for what? After the resident minister, some of them can get 3-4 motor car and team up na the host. Why you even buy vehicles for resident ministers? We all know how they work now, so what are they pay? Some of us they work for the government of Alberta or the federal government. Not so they buy with motor car. If you then buy that vehicle, they didn't then at the office. It has to be a reason for you to use the government vehicles. Not so they need buy motor car for you. In fact, when they employ you now, they ask you, do you have a car? Do you have a license? Can you drive? You have to have your driving record, track record. You can't forget your motor car. Now we they pay with insurance, which about 2 million liability on it. Now we they pay. Then how you go sit down? COVID, the people they not get job set for it. Now not even go on the medical equipment because they're not even there Salone. That is why we say we need a total overhaul of our country. Sierra Leone is a rotten mess. Let's be honest and frank, people. This is the time for us to cover up is over. We need to face the facts in Sierra Leone. That country is a total mess. Total overhaul now we need for bring that country to the level and standard of a country where a human being can survive even to up to the age of 50 to 60 years. But right now it's too much. It's sad, but this is a reality. It's sad.
Sierra Leone is missing a gender lens throughout its policies, throughout its the implement. First of all, a gender lens has to be applied now in policies then before it can be implemented within in structures. How do you think? Because I think that also now a big problem, now a big reason why we dey usai we dey so today. Because even after the war, where we had an opportunity for make sure say we policies them be gendered aligned, them be gender sensitive, them be gender structured, they're missing. How do we ensure moving forward that our policies be revisited or that new policies when they enact make sure say there is a gender lens applied to it? Because if we don't get pre-existing policies then we can get gender lens, trust me, even in the implementation of emergency situation you will apply a gender lens to it. And a gender lens is completely missing from the picture. How do we correct this?
Well, we get for start, for me, everything that we do, because we need a total overhaul of every structure in Sierra Leone, be it the judiciary, be it the high quality, whatever you can think about, social, whatever you can think, we need a total overhaul. So for long start to picking them. We always, where we born picking them, in fact, naturally you born picking us alone. If you're not boy picking, then they glad, oh yes, we don't get the king for take over the name. The girl picking, you're nowhere to be seen. They don't even recognize you when they don't born you. Or like I don't want to say, when they born with the first and the for start for sexualize we already. For start for make we an object of sex. The first thing they do, dress you, oh, this me wife, they don't born me wife. That's already putting on stuff. The man, they hail him up. They don't born boy picking. Let the boy picking in for go school. The boy picking everything. They go married we off. We dowry and they pay for we. Then they go use for put your brother in our school. So all them time they would see. So the very first thing they for do, we for start for the appreciate to girl picking them. Tell them, say, look, whatever man can do, you can do better. Encourage them to do sciences. Encourage them to go to medical school. And tell our girls that they are beautiful, their bodies, they have the right to their own body. They should not allow anybody to turn their heads and say their body is for them, for somebody else. No, you have the right to your body. You have the right to tell somebody to touch you. If you don't want that person to touch you, you have the right to say no. We first start from the kindergarten. Where would you go? We first start that education for day now. Now the schools, kindergarten, where them picking and they go. They will get for of course, we boy picking and say for tell them say, look, any man will rape, you not a man. Because no man not a rape. Better man, good man not a rape a woman. If you want to forget this relationship with a woman, find a way forget a better relationship. You can do better than that. Now, animals in the rape person. So anybody they rape not a man than they, you know, so even human being. So we also use that one too for help. Then invest in women, invest, empower the women, empower women, put them in positions that, you know, Kwame Nkrumah say, when you educate a girl, you educate a nation. So invest in women. Give them positions. Let's say, for instance, what's they happen at Salone right now. That we residents, we northern this the woman in the, I think the north. She's our residential minister in the north. We have seen a lot of development that she has tried. Though you can see that she's doing a level best to do her work. Same as the mayor. Then people then they put the let you see. Then they do, and they really show for say they don't give them responsibility. They are carrying out their responsibility more than most of the men. Some of them are in those positions. You don't even know what they are doing there. You don't know what they are doing. Empower these women. Put women in positions that will make them be leaders. Make them leaders in positions and empower in them. Another thing is to listen to the women, like the survivors, especially those who don't go through rape. Listen to them. Not ever cry for tell them saying I lied and they lie. I'm glad they don't get crisis line now. Those numbers or lines should be told. The school tell the kids now. So what's not the first year old and they tell Pikin and I call 911. If you mistake, you left your phone. The first year the Pikin they do is you take phone now for dial 911 because now the first thing they teach you Pikin in this country. So Pikin and I their first number is 911. Make that number they known to Pikin and Salone. How for ask for help. Sometimes when they go to the mama they beat their back. Now you wait on come on, you don't go to that man and make the man not rape you. He beats the Pikin. So encourage our children, make them leaders, teach them to show them that they are important. They are also people with integrity, that we look up to them, give them that platform. And also for provoke people that will get raped. Like this person, you don't go rape the girl. Now they don't pull you. The best thing they do now for turn back and taunt them. You are provoking them. How fair is that to this child? Now you they make the Pikin they lost in self-esteem. You they make the Pikin they would not go even next time not go even talk because there is no need. And get involved like we are doing now. We are getting involved in the situation. We are talking about it. We are not backing out. We say exactly as we feel. We are not scared to speak the way we see things. And people are calling also everybody's getting involved into the situation. So help women too to get involved into more leadership role. Of course, we have to end impunity. Where there is justice, justice must not be delayed and justice must be served. I don't care which way, but you rape somebody, if you have to go to jail for that, you should go. And that time should be served. We don't have to cherry pick because a doctor did it or because this other person is their poor, then the person suffer. No, everybody should suffer the same. We all have to be active bystanders. We all have to get involved. All of us. If you see La Saloso, them until the way they see Pikin and the car, you know say you possibly don't come overseas. You know say this man he married now overseas. Then when he come, you that your brother, you they keep an house, people get Pikin they come on and neighbor can you say you they see and they enter that man in room. Why you not go stop and tell your brother so what you they do is wrong? You married na America. Where you can't keep small Pikin and I. And then no say na so they not for touch girl Pikin and I. You need one self. You not get no relationship here with Pikin where you 10 years. Sometimes when you don't 18. If Pikin don't 18, you don't reach that age. Good. But below that, you can't even try it. But with people then they come here and go Salone for go do the bad game then they. You the antecedents and they know they talk. We all can be active bystanders by getting involved. Like this country, when you report a case, nobody know they mention you name. I'm a social worker. You call me saying a child is being molested. I will never mention your name to say, oh, this person told me this. No.
Thanks.
Always we get for protect that person where they explain. So that's been an active bystander. Of course, what we are doing now is to start educating our next generation. And this is what we have started. Bringing everything they open. Before, from when we grab up, I know ever hear they talk about sex now. We know they talk about ourselves. So when they talk about they slapping about this and bad, you look at what they say. But now it's open. Thank God for social media. we have to continue to educate the next generation. And of course, we all have to be participants in this. You cannot be a bystander and just be inactive. Be an active participant and also join the conversation like we are doing. So, Mr. President, whatever you guys are doing out there, get the women involved. Get us involved. We are more than what you think we are. We can do better than what you men can do. Maybe next time we have to have a female candidate for presidency. Leone has to go do, but get us involved. Women can do better than men.
Thank you very much. In 1 minute, I want to make you give your last word to people then.
So, thank you so much where you really allow me for come to this platform. My brothers and sisters, we they talk about rape. Now, rape will be they talk about. First of all, we need for no say rape not for woman no more. Not a woman no more. Man self. Man, boy, you said and he rape you. You know anybody, even big woman, we them big woman can rape una them boy picking the latte una. Not fit to say na girl picking more than the rape una boy picking they say we the big woman them. Anybody where big pass you, way past 10 years, 20 years, we not allow them for touching and rape. If you person like down the door with your touch you private part or touch anybody you part where you know want let them touch, go complain. Not afraid for talk, not afraid. There would not be brothers and sisters in a salon, particularly because of now they talk more because we in Canada, yeah, me who said in Canada. If a man touch me Bobby, I know I let touch him, I get right for go report on a court. In case we had the arrest you said, then they even ask question. Once I don't talk, then we'll arrest you. Then mama then when I married, mama will sister then. Even if you married, not feel to say you man get right for rape you. If you don't want to let go of that man, you don't want to get my man daddy business with you, man. Say no, no, no. Let the man respect that. Then my man, we auntie and we uncle and grandpa, then do ya? What will sister then can't put say, the man rape me, believe him. Not talk saying I lie, they lie. Not talk say go back to the man that you man go marry. No. Now in those days when they do, we these days not. If the pikin don't say mama, me man last night now so you go and tell and say I still rape me. You get for take action, mama and papa. Then we get for start for deal with them and then at the us before we go on a street to deal with them. If you allow you girl pikin, a man go rape him. Where inside born in your girl pikin, the man will continue for rape. Now so they will continue for rape. Girl pikin and I will stay. They will all have the same problem. No one will continue. That stress, that trauma, we all they continue into them. So we all have to say no to rape. 0, 0, 0 tolerance at all. We get for stop. We get for put a stop. And 3 other politicians, particularly Sierra Leone, everything at the president. Everything at the president. Papa President, I hope say they watch this today. Me, I they beg you. We they beg you. We the women of Sierra Leone. We they beg you for say anything where rape case come. We not take them into consideration. We not deal with them. Not to person a Khadija no more. We don't see another West man country them. Bill Cosby, where we all be the admire, we they watch all be small. When they say Bill Cosby done at television, we they run for go watch him. We don't know what to happen to him. He then at jail because women they report him. They don't get no evidence or no proof. Just because when they cut out for talk, say Bill Cosby raped me, they even at jail. So if you Mr. President, when rape somebody, we are not afraid for talker. If the speaker of the house, like actually they go say, they say rape somebody, we are not afraid for talker. Any picking, any minister, any president ultimately rape you, talker, not afraid. If we are there now, we are afraid, we are call some of we, where then I am, we are going on social media, we are the sui, we go talk for that because we are there now, we are afraid. Bill Cosby then at jail because he rape women then. And also one woman, also 2 women. So women at Salone, we not get right this now, not time. And Madam First Lady, you don't begin an excellent project. The project that you have, your flagship project, is an excellent one. But you get for surround yourself with people them who will help you for make that project be productive. 1, social workers, counselors, therapists, even probation officers. Then you have to have medical or professionals that are really, as for instance, this rape, we get for come together. Now we all work together. Now we stop this rape in Salone. Now we stop this rape. If you not to that, una pikin them na Salone, they come oversee them, go go na jail. If you not that una want, when they come na Salone, and go lock them up. Well, there's another social media would they see say that they celebrate sex just like that. Then they take, oh my God, use them profile pictures whether something pertaining to sex, and they use as profile pictures because they don't understand. All of that, we need to start teaching our brothers and sisters back home that some of these things are wrong. But anyway, let not take up on our time. Me just want to talk to una say, do ya, papa and mama them, na Salone. Una law begin for the treat to girl picking them as human beings, not as objects and sex object. And with brothers and sisters, una self, with a beg una say, do ya, the rape case is too much. Una law find a way, now all work together so that una will see una brothers and sisters, we all grow up together. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. If I'm them, we don't talk Boku today. The talk not to today it begin. The talk not to today it go get for done. Before I give una me closing argument, I want to read something where one me party sent to me. When a catalog of events them we don't happen at Salone in the last 2 months. In the last 2 months. And this one also not even a full catalog, not just waiting the paper pickup. April 16th, abuse of young girl, head teacher sentenced to jail. April 17th, teacher discharged in sexual matter. April 22nd, 12 years for sexual penetration. April 23rd, police officer jailed for 20 years sexual penetration. April 24th, school teacher impregnates school girl. April 28th, court reduces bail condition for alleged sexual penetration. May 7th, gang rape in Waterloo. May 9th, uncle rapes 14-year-old niece. May 20th, man sentenced to 15 years for penetrating an 8-year-old girl. May 21st, father sentenced for 16 years imprisonment. Incest. April 10th, police record 12,014 sexual offenses in 2019. Police record 12,014 sexual offenses in 2019. In that same year, 3,252 cases of sexual penetration. Me fumble them. I'm just a human being. Sometimes these things, they get to you. It takes some amount of courage sometimes to go through these things. 200,000 plus estimated, rough estimated, recorded of girls and women sexually abused from 2001 to 2000, from 1991 to 2002, where we war begin. It means say if all them people then they alive, them people then they na a tortured victims, na tortured souls them masquerading in makeup. It means say right inside them they are traumatized, they are tortured, but they are masked with makeup. Now makeup they cover them. But if you peel out the makeup and you expose the nakedness, they are as fragile as an egg. We get a lot of men wearing suits, wearing buba, where they are traumatized men them. I say make we go back to the TLC report and make sure say the recommendations of the TLC report is fully implemented. When we begin this program, I say Sierra Leone is a nation of incest. And I will say it again, we have cultures and traditions that perpetuate incest. And because of this incest, yeah, so we find ourselves in a place like this today, in combination with the war and the trauma where we nation don't experience, we have a nation that is psychologically demented, that is psychologically traumatized. We have pedophiles in our nation. We get man them when are pedophiles, we get woman them. I don't forget the word, how you they call woman them where they do the same thing. We get man them where they come out from the diaspora for go abuse we young girl picking them, just like we get woman them where they come out now the diaspora where they go abuse we young boy picking them. Me fumble them na Salone. This matter don't see us. We no go hide them under bushel anymore. We no go hide them under bed anymore. So the woman them, una left for pimp, una picking them just at the age of birth. We are a pimping nation. We are a nation that has learned to pimp our girls to the highest bidders for small change. The moment where we born with girl picking them, we don't sell them out. We don't begin teach them, say their body, they're not worth anything. They are not valued. And that the only value that is there to them is their body. It's the sexualization and the exploitation of their bodies. That is what we have taught our kids. That is what we have taught and ingrained in our young girls. Mi famule na Salone. Una left for the gi una girl picking them to fumble for men. Una left for the gi una girl picking them to sister and brother and auntie and cousin for men. Where that girl picking the Canada host day, she becomes the wife, the de facto wife of that man. Because when that man come out to work, instead of because of culture and tradition and how sometimes they function within our system, instead of make that man pull in shoes and pull in socks and put in a corner, or make the woman where he married can up and pull in shoes and in socks and put in a corner. Now you girl picking, now they can pull in shoes and pull in socks and put in a corner. And listen, they say men are weak and they get weak in the knees very easily. When that man constantly they make that eye contact with that picking where he sit on a ground, they pull in shoes and they pull in socks every day. Guess what? He starts developing unbelievable feelings and unbelievable attraction to that young girl. Because guess what? He no longer see that small pikin with in small chair, with in small baby and in small bobby and in small waist for say this nami wef in pikin. He no longer see and say this nami wef in auntie in pikin or nami brother in pikin. No, he begins to sexualize that young girl in his head and begin to fantasize about that young girl in his head. Because guess what? At his moment of soothing, at his moment of need, at his moment of vulnerability, that young girl is there to remove his shoes and his socks and say, Uncle, it's dinner table for you. That young girl is coming there to prepare a plate and a table before him and set a table before him. So immediately he begins to sexualize and fantasize about the body of that girl, because guess what? The mother is no longer there. The wife is no longer there. Because guess what? In his eyes, the infant, the girl, the baby is no longer there. What he sees is a woman serving his needs. What he begins to see is a woman serving his needs. So I am telling you, women, stop pimping out your girls. Women, una left for the pimp, una picking them. Una left for the pimp, una girl picking them. And waiting happen to una girl picking them. Una no go sit down a corner and say, hey, you look where you dress. Eh? You don't come on a treat. You don't red. You don't full up. You shall say not to you go provoke that man. You shall say not to you do this. You shall say not to you do. No can give me bad name or no can pull sababu for me. You have sexualized your girls. You have sexualized our girls. You have sexualized us. So men no longer see us as individuals. They no longer see us as human beings. They see us as sexual objects. They see us like them play cook. They see us as, just like I say, when they don't smoke the cigarette done, waiting left the bottom, they throw it. So this is what they see us as. They see us as this. That's what they see us as. That is what they see us as. So in order for that to change, mama dem, una begin talk to una girl picking them. Una begin talk to una boy picking them. Let your daughters, let your sons be your friends. I am not saying that, listen, you cannot maintain, discipline in the home, that go teach them boundaries, but let them make them get the confidence, say you are the greatest confidence. That I can go tell me mama anything. I can go tell me papa anything. He go believe me and he go stand by me and he go support me. Make we left this culture and this system of, hey, you want come give we bad name? You want come well with sababu? You know what thing these people and don't do for you? We don't come out with them people and so do ya titina for set you much. When these kids are bold enough to tell you their stories, when they come to you, please do not disappoint them and shatter them and re-victimize them even more by taking bribes from the perpetrators and their family. Please make una left this fumble business, rape not a fumble business. From neither from a woman or from a man, rape not a fumble business. If rape na been fumble business, trust me, the lobbying for don't say rape na fumble business. But because rape not a fumble business, now that make there is a law for it. To the government, please review your customary marriage and customary laws, because that is also a contributing factor. Review the customary laws in our land, please. review the customary laws in our Sierra Leone. Because when we operate on two systems, when one system say one thing, the other system say another thing, there is a fundamental problem there. When the two systems, they come together and be in sync and speak the same language. So please, I am appealing to you all. To the government, again, I say, and to the people of Sierra Leone, and to you directly, Fatima Bio, I'm speaking now to you. I always don't say this. Your flagship program, get your hands off our girls. There is nothing wrong with it in concept. I always don't say that. It's a beautiful program. I even don't say, listen, I would have rather you have a small pilot program force. Do the environmental studies, get your figures, get your facts, put pen and paper together, know exactly what your objectives and goals are. Run a small pilot, see how it works before you bring and come big. And I always don't say to you, you don't know it all, you cannot know it all. So therefore, bring people that we don't do the grease and elbow work already. We know the terrain, we understand the trajectory and the pathology much more than you can ever dream of. Bring them on board, sit them at the table, discuss with them, give them the opportunity to do what they do best. Sierra Leone is armed with the best of intelligence, with the best of knowledge. But now how we can utilize with intelligence and with knowledge, now can make we they fail succinctly always. But if we come together, if we galvanize as a united front, trust me, we can do wonders, we can change things. In this hour, in this day, as I am speaking, we would not be talking about the numbers of rape that we are currently talking about had the departure, the starting point, had it been done right. The starting point, the inception, the departure of everything is very important. Not for rush and make papi show and something then. Something then you get for bacon at the oven and make sure say the oven then at the right temperature and make sure say you check them where you need for check them and make sure say where you put your toothpick inside now the oil no more come out na do. Then you know for say it don't bake done. Now you can bring and canado for the wall and for servant to the wall. Mr. President, when there is an emergency, there is an emergency contingency. I am not able to list all waiting you suppose and waiting you've been promised inside your emergency. Every district forget assigned police officers, forget special assigned units for rape victims. We need rape testing kits inside our country there. We need social workers. We need psychological workers. We need clinicians them. We need clinical therapists them. We need police them. We need investigators them. We need a legal aid in all of these hospitals in every district. That's where when such case happen, there is a holistic approach to it. People are not then going to be running about and chasing and going here and going there just to make ends meet, just for make people then go yeri then case. To the policemen in uniform, too many times your names have been coming up in this rape issue. To the teachers who are supposed to be the custodians and teachers and elevators and educators, too many times una name then they come up na this issue. To our politicians and our parliamentarians, you are not free of this either. But guess what? Una papa them be don't do am. Una self they do am. So therefore, I can understand that at some point, the guilt of knowing that you are also culpable of what we are talking about can be, a deterrent for make you not do the right thing. But here I say to you, listen, if una sidon una set una mouth and because una know for say people they know but waiting una don they do. And una self dep and the fry egg business. And una self dep and the pekito business. And una no left una dirty and them, una no left una black and them and really also be and really tie oja and get this thing in control. Guess what? The next generation of female and male that are going to be produced, that are going to be representing Sierra Leone will be more traumatic than the past one. The next generation of female and male that Sierra Leone is going to inherit, guess what? All of them will be survival of abuse. All of them will be survival of abuse, one form or the other. So right about now, make we the tie or jam, make we begin to put systems them in place and make we begin to talk. And make we know they talk no more, make we begin to do for the sake of Mama Salone. Less than 24 hours, 53 rape victims. 2 boys, age 7 and age 8. There are many more of these cases going on. There are many more of these cases that we do not know about. But here 2020 it don't come with a bang. So maybe this 2020 self na Salone in self for you bang for put an end to this mimesis, for put an end to this evilness. So Sierra Leoneans are called on una out there, professionals in the diaspora, wherever you might find yourself, we get expertise. Make we all join and make we all engage and make we put an end to this thing. It not look good for we country. Not to find look for we country and not to find look for we self. Where they gonna do introduce we self as Sierra Leoneans. Not to find look for we at all, because the world is watching. The world is watching and they are seeing and they are observing, even though they might not be talking. Me famble them. The talk not get for done today. The talk continue. This is not just the job of the president. This is not just the job of the first lady. This is not just the job of the parliament. This is not just the job of the ministers. This is not every Sierra Leonean job. But first thing first, let's revisit our policies. Let's revisit our laws, because that's where it starts. Mi family, I tell you not thank you. We go see next time. May God bless Mama Salone. May God bless we all. Una not forget for what una and them. Una not forget for where una mask them. Corona is real. Like I say, I don't care if the government they do dilly-dallying tuna. Them go can we go talk about that if not danding at the thing. But for right now, where we sit at this present moment, Corona is real. Let's mask up. Let's wash our hands. Let's maintain social distancing. May God bless Mama Salone. May God bless we all and all we small sister them and small brother them. And Mama and Papa them, we don't suffer this horrific, horrendous act. We pray that God go fend them, situation and solutions for sutra them, for give them the help where they need, the psychological and clinical help where they need. And for the one day where we don't lose, I say sleep not until justice is won for all of you. Sleep not until justice is won for all of you. Thank you very much.